Thanks so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about what you do. I know that you and I are connected in a couple different places online, but just for those who are tuning in, I think what you do is unique and it's interesting, and so and you don't see a lot of it, but there's such a need for it.
I think so. So, for everyone listening, I'm a gift coach. I'm a professional gift coach. And about a year and a half ago, I started a newsletter that's called Better Gift Coach. And it's a weekly shortcut to always having great gift ideas well in advance of when you need them. So, every week, we share the story of the greatest gift that someone's ever received or given. These are real people sharing their stories within the Better Gift Coach community. And I provide guidance on how one can go about replicating those gifts.
Awesome. How did that start? How did you come about it?
Starts. I'm not a great gift giver. So if we rewind to 2022, the beginning of 2022, I'm like, this is an aspect of my life that I want to get better at. I guess I should say I'm not naturally a good gift giver. I have given good gifts. So after discovering a shortcut that worked for me, which is just asking other people in my life, hey, what's the best gift you've ever received or given? And then going and copying those gifts, I was like, hey, I think a lot of other people like me could benefit from this. So that's how the business and the newsletter came about.
Got it. Yeah, that's awesome. And so how's it going? Where it's at? Where is it at now?
It's growing. It did not have the first holiday season, so that would have been the holiday season of 2022. I was very fortunate to get placed in the New York Times, Real Simple magazine, so I had a ton of traction out of the gate. 2022, I continued to grow, but the holiday season was not like it was for the first holiday season. And then in 2024, I kind of woke up to the fact that, hey, I'm continuing to grow. I have close to 5,000 subscribers at this point, and they're really engaged. So at that point, the open rate was close to 60%. And a lot of people were replying to the emails saying that, hey, I love what you're doing. This is a great gift idea. But my eyes started to open to the fact that I haven't really figured out how to best monetize this newsletter yet. Right. So I've really taken the pedal off of subscriber growth at the moment, and I'm doubling, tripling down on how I'm going to monetize this. Not to, end up being the next Bill Gates, but more or less, if I'm going to have to pay to acquire new subscribers, I'm going to want the economics there where, the cost to acquire a subscriber is less than the lifetime value that I'm going to receive from them.
And have you done any experimentation with marketing in a paid format? Like getting in the New York Times, was that like a paid placement or you just got picked up?
I just got picked up. So that was all, earned media PR.
Got it. And have you done any like meta ads or have you run any campaigns in the past?
I have,
To, yeah.
and they've been unsuccessful. And I don't think that's a reflection of the platform. I think that's a reflection of me, not really knowing what I'm doing. So I've tried to take some classes, but it's just I'm not seeing the return on investment. So I am experimenting other ways to grow the subscriber base. But at the same time, if I can't figure out how to monetize close to 5,000 subscribers, I'm a little worried that if I, have 50,000 subscribers, I'm going to be in the same situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there is something to be said for like, the later that you can ask, the later that you can wait to ask for money, the better. But I find that there's a threshold of like at some point, if it's been like I've been here for so long and now you're asking, I think that can also be an equal turnoff. And I think paying for information, like we pay for our entertainment, our we used to buy our individual songs in iTunes, right? And now it's Spotify and these other platforms. But I think there's a threshold of people that are happy to pay for the information, or there's a couple of different back end opportunities. So would love to dive into like where what you've thought through so far for monetization. Have you experimented? Have you tested anything so far, or what have
Yeah,
you tested so far?
absolutely. So what I've tested so far would be paid digital downloads. So I have a Squarespace site and I sell digital downloads, and these are gift guides that are really next level gift guides. They're much better than what someone's going to see, or much more involved than what someone's going to see by being a free subscriber in the newsletter, and certainly better and not as affiliate market riddled as you would find typically in a gift guide that you're going to stumble upon online, right? These are real people sharing real stories of gifts. And so I have been able to monetize through digital downloads. So every time I put out a new digital download, I'm charging about $13, and I might make 500 up to $1,000 from that. But I'm just continue to have to pump those out. It's not as sustainable with these current numbers. So I either have to figure out how to market the digital downloads outside of my subscriber base, or convert more of my subscriber base, or grow my subscriber base and continue to convert the same percentage. So that's the first way that I have successfully monetized, but there's an asterisk next to successful because I don't think it's scalable at the moment with the current economics. The other way is within the last 2 months, I did test a premium subscription of the newsletter, which is about $40 a year. And what I'm offering is access to those premium guides that I'm talking about, as well as a functionality within the email. So if you're reading the email and you say, hey, I really like this idea, it's September, I think this would be the perfect Mother's Day gift in May, right? That's a long time to remember that gift. So I did very simply add some functionality into the email where if you're a premium subscriber, you can say, hey, Patrick, remind me of this gift in, April so I can make it happen for Mother's Day in May. So I have offered that, and it's just, most of the subscribers are not biting. I have a handful of premium subscribers. Thankfully, I don't know any of them. So that is good validation that it's not just like my mom and her sisters. But obviously the value proposition is not hitting. And I have tried to survey and say, hey, subscribers, why are you not opting into the premium service? And there were several of them that replied like, I don't understand what you're offering. So it could also be messaging. But I see other opportunities. So those are the two ways that I've currently monetized, and I see opportunities to other avenues for monetization as well.
Yeah, like one thing that I've been talking about with my team in terms of like email list growth. I mean, it's nice. So I post a couple times a week on LinkedIn. I get some followers every once in a while. I'm like, hey, there's this cool newsletter coming out. Like, make sure you go. So where I have audience in other places, I will tease the newsletter and like not put out any content beyond like this thing's coming. If you're not subscribed, you're not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I usually pick up, the numbers are not massive by any means, but like 3 to 5 subscribers anytime I do that, which again, that's not sustainable from a growth perspective. But one thing I've been talking with my team about as we've gotten into like media buying for my brand a little bit, specifically on Instagram, it's like, what is that smaller ticket purchase that just covers the cost of the ads? Right? Like if it's a, $25 product, um, can we sell one for every $25 in ads that we spend? Is that low ticket enough that we could do it? Because each one that buys it, a couple things happen. Each one that buys it goes on the list. So like, great, so I'm kind of breaking even on the ad spend. So my acquisition cost is zero. So trying to maybe think about a formula for that where you're saying, hey, if you're in my list, you can buy the premium things, but it's like, what is that, seasonal premium? So it's like, hey, Valentine's Day is coming, get the ultimate gift guide for it. And then I think you could even advertise it as, some people will care about this, where it's like, hey, this is just like unbiased real stories. This isn't like, I was listening to a podcast the other day about how every review site is just affiliate marketed and like none of the reviews are friggin' real, you know. But
I
I've
think
been
I
thinking a
listened
lot
to that
about,
episode.
yeah, but I've been thinking about a lot about like the reverse of like, yeah, okay, putting out content and putting in like the referral program into my email newsletter, trying to get people to like share it so that they can come through, which you're using Beehive.
Yes,
So I imagine you're already leveraging that. But it's like,
I am.
okay, what if the list could grow and I could just break even or have a very low ticket? So instead of selling people to the free thing, sell people to the paid thing and then put them in the free thing. Like that's they get that as the bonus. Like they're just automatically subscribed because I bought this thing. Because if you could figure out what that number is, maybe you could get you know, a $9 purchase or a $13 ultimate gift guide for this seasonal thing. If you can acquire those for like $7 or $8 in ads, then you're like making a little bit, but you're also adding to the base of the subscribers and then kind of figuring it out. I mean, ultimately you need to figure out how to sell to the base, but as an acquisition or growth strategy, that might be something to look into.
Yeah, that's interesting. So just to make sure I understand what you're saying, it's, if we're picturing the funnel, at the top of the funnel, my first interaction or my first sale with someone would be the paid gift guide. And then after they did that, further down the funnel, they would become a free subscriber. And then hopefully that would be a slippery slope where, they continue to trust me and gain credibility, and they're willing to buy potentially bigger ticket items down the road.
Yeah, there is something really powerful about the like getting someone to open their wallet. Like a lot of big internet marketers, and I don't have the product for this for me to do, but it's like, what's the $7 thing with the $19 bump, with the $106 thing, with the like, what's that? What's his name? Russell Brunson calls it the value ladder. He displays it really interestingly in his book, Internet Secrets or Traffic Secrets. If you haven't read that, actually, that's a really fascinating. Yeah, I think it's called Secrets, and it's very short, it's very concise. It feels obvious, but when you read it, you're like, I learned stuff here. It's very weird. It's a very weird book, and it's got these like kind of shitty little diagrams, but it's a very powerful book. And I think his concept of the value ladder, which is the like, if someone opens their wallet for $3 or $7, what is the bump you can put them in front of? Because like I pull up my credit card, I have trust. There's some level of trust already, and getting me to use my credit card again with you is easier than if I get you in a free way and getting you to open
Yep.
the credit card for the first time. So might be an interesting way to think about it. Like and almost like adding them to the newsletter is just the bonus thing that you get and they get for buying the product. It's like, hey,
Right.
you saw the ad, this resonated, you bought this thing. Like, just wait. I mean, we're putting out content all the time. There's all kinds of new ideas, new kinds of opportunities. I think someone that buys that thing isn't the person who's like, oh, I don't want to subscribe to this thing, right? If I was interested in a
Agreed.
gift buying guide, you know, so that's something to think about. Um, and then I guess demographic wise, like as I'm thinking about, okay, that's an acquisition strategy, but like core monetization. So is there any pattern to your demographic and acquisition stuff, like
It's a very clear
geographically?
pattern.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, good.
It's mostly Americans or Canadians. We do have other Western countries, UK, some folks from New Zealand, but overwhelmingly they are moms and grandmothers, and that's not who I was originally intending to write the newsletter for. So that has been
Right.
an interesting exercise for me to change the tone of the newsletter as I came to the realization that I wasn't writing for to who I thought I was writing to. So these are moms and grandmothers who are already good or thoughtful gift givers, and this is their love language, and they want more ideas so they can continue to do what they love. These are not typically people like me who are average gift givers by nature who are looking for a shortcut to get better.
Got it. And strategically, are you fine with that?
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I love my subscriber base. I've met friends through my subscriber base. It's just not who I thought I was originally writing to, and I still see an opportunity, although I just haven't had the opportunity to really get in front of the audience of millennial men or Gen X men in the U.S. I
Right.
haven't had that opportunity yet.
Yeah, but I mean, women are the controllers of most spends within a household anyway. Like moms are like the best people in the world to have that audience in front of. So yeah, I
Right.
mean, yes, I know. I see where you're going. Where you're like, I wanted dudes just like me to be like, oh man, this is so helpful for me, and like, man, you're just changing the game. My my girlfriend likes me more now. I get it. Um, but we are also very distracted by like technology and drinking beer and going like we're not as big of a consumer as the mom group. And I think from a profitability standpoint, that audience is like far superior in every way, shape, and form. So, okay, couple things to think about, and maybe this will like kind of I don't have all the answer, but the things that are bubbling up for me are who are the other products, services, groups that want access to the people you have access to. Because you can make, like, I think you can make an affiliate link. A lot of it pays out not that much, and unless you're at a massive scale, it's kind of hard to, it's kind of hard to make affiliate work. Um, Affiliate links in like travel is really powerful. Obviously, like, this hotel will pay you or this resort will pay you like 350 bucks to
Sure.
get the booking. So like there's opportunities there, but I think it's a harder sell on more consumer products and that type of thing.
And it's not native to the newsletter, right?
Yeah,
Like that would be outside the newsletter. And I'm very
100%.
cautious about my subscribers who have come to trust the fact that they're not being sold to.
Yep.
Um, so I'm always very cautious about that. I don't see it. I would love to eventually monetize in a way that felt native
Yeah.
to the subscriber base through affiliate links and through ads, but I don't think that's how I'm going to, that's certainly not how I want to reach, monetization that will, be a sustainable monetization.
What about what about the higher ticket, higher touch point version of affiliate? So, hey, this was like, Karen submitted this thing and she had this like incredible idea about how to do this and this and this and this. But sometimes the person reading is not like equipped to go and duplicate that thing. And so, I mean, not every gift has to be a big complicated gift, but like, what about creating a partnership with like a print on demand service who's like a mom and pop? What about creating a relationship with like one thing you said, I think one of your newsletters was like, hey, like doing a recording where you're like asking questions and like recording the answers so you have this video for future generations and stuff like that. But not
Yep.
everyone's comfortable doing that. And I bet you they're like, I've remotely produced podcasts before where I like sat in and like facilitated, captured the content, post produced it. Like, what about finding someone who's like a local, like a local online producer and saying, hey, these people are going to come. It's going to be, someone who wants to do it. It's going to take a bunch of time. It's going to take some energy. It's going to be like $1,000 project. And like, but I want whatever percentage. So you capture the lead, you make the introduction, but you do it with like a specific set of vendors rather than like the Amazon affiliate link to the book.
Right. Yeah. I've considered this, certainly something that I want to explore just to test it. I have a friend who has an Etsy store that sells wrapping paper. Right. So I don't have a
Yeah.
problem promoting high quality wrapping paper because it's not telling someone, hey, it's not, I'm not putting the gift idea in there to sell them, XYZ product. This is different. So I call it, it's a section within the newsletter. It's called products for gift givers. Right. And that feels very native to what I'm doing. I have converted a couple sales through that. And I'm also exploring greeting cards and holiday cards to also offer. I like this idea of trying to find other partners. I just put out a new relationship guide. So a new relationship gift guide. You're in a new relationship. There's a ton of questions running through people's mind about how to navigate the waters of what should I give? Is it too early to give this? And someone suggested to me that I partner with dating websites, more niche dating websites, maybe like because of my audience, widow websites and divorce dating websites. Um, so that's also something that I want to explore.
Yeah. Have you thought at all about creating like okay, you've got your digital products, but have you thought at all about creating like some other mid-ticket thing of your own?
The course, yeah. So I would love to do a course that's just either evergreen content or it's a live course that I do 4 times a year or whatever that I run webinar style. Haven't gotten around to that, but that's certainly on the docket for 2024. So sometime this year, putting that together, and it would be a course. I'd probably niche it down a little bit more than this, but like how to give better gifts, right? Shortcuts for giving better gifts, and that ticket price I'm imagining would be somewhere in between $50 to $100.
Yeah. One thing to consider in the online course marketplace is I was reading this stat by who's the big one? Udemy. And they
Mm-hmm.
say of the people that purchase an online course, I think it's like under 10% of people finish courses, which is
Wow.
crazy. It's like, and so one thing that I thought a lot about and I studied a lot about as I was making my How to Get Booked on Podcast course, it was like, I was actually really upset that I couldn't get it under 2 hours. I really wanted it to be 90 minutes, and it was just like, there's just so much stuff. But one thing that I'm doing now, I'm recording how to build processes, like how to build processes for your company. And it is going to be a 50-minute, 50-minute course with like a chatbot assisted thing and a Notion board. So it's like, cool. There's a Notion thing where you can put all your processes into it. And then you can record the video process, download the transcript, and put it into the transcription bot. And it will write the transcript, or not, it'll write the process out based on the transcript. That chatbot took me literally 7 minutes to make. And so, two things I would suggest for you. One is building, potentially looking into and studying building a gift giving bot, gift giving like robot. Um, hey, you're going to take in these data points from the consumer, hobbies, interests, places they've tried, whatever, 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 budget, and then I want you to source. I don't know if it could happen, but I would play with it because selling niche gift giving bots on like through a Gumroad subscription or whatever at $50, like super powerful. And I'm starting to sell some of my GPTs to my audience because I'm like, hey, it saves so much time and energy. Like, why would you not? The other one I've seen for I suggested to someone the other day was like he had this like 95 paid nutrition guide as part of his program. And I'm like, nobody wants to read a book on nutrition. Are you out of your mind? I'm like, put the book into ChatGPT and then make the meal planner right through there. What are we doing? So you can build these custom GPTs quite easily now if you give it very specific instructions. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, I with the courses, I would go as niche as humanly possible because what I've found through course and content making, it's like we want the thing to be the thing for everybody who takes it. And the
Right.
truth is, there's so many variables. Like I was trying to do a marketing strategy course and I was like, well, what
That's
happens if
broad.
it's this versus this? Well, that
Right.
makes the entire course completely different. And yes, gift giving maybe can be narrowed down a little bit better, but I do wonder if the like 45-minute micro course on this thing, which is kind of that like I just want to get to the finish line. I want you to give me an answer as quickly as possible. I'll still pay $50 for it. And I see these courses all the time where they're like, oh, there's like 65 hours of bonus material. I don't want 65 hours of anything. That's 3 days of my life. Are you out of your mind? I want to learn this in an hour and I want to move on with my day. And so it's like short, concise, as much as possible. I think that's what makes these things attractive now. So just something to play with. But I think the course thing is really, really strong. And if you can find a way to either build a directory tool or some kind of a chat bot to enhance, like maybe it's like the idea generating bot, but you give it a bunch of filters. I don't know. I feel like there could be something there too.
We can noodle on that. I like that idea. I think that's a really helpful tip about niching down on the course. So it's, if anyone is going to pay for it, it's going to be like, this is the exact course that I need at this moment, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to them questioning. So that's
Yeah.
great
And I think
advice.
there's a million things. It's like how to give the perfect retirement gift
Right.
to, you know, and it could even go crazier than that. Like, to someone who's worked in construction, who's an executive in, I don't know, maybe it doesn't go that far, but um, you'd have to have a pretty big list for that to niche out in the right way. But it's like,
Right.
how to pick the perfect retirement gift for a man, for a
Right.
woman. for this, for that. And it could be a lot of the same material in the courses where you just change a few of the modules to accommodate whatever the different pieces. Because I bet you there's a lot of threads that are similar. And so, like, could you reuse 60 to 70% of it and just re-record the other 25 for that niche? Probably,
Yeah.
probably.
And just to let you know, the one that I'm most interested in making as far as a course, if I'm going to niche down on a course, is, last minute gift giving. So I can imagine people are like, "Uh-oh, like I need to give a gift." And then they find this course and they say, "This is exactly what we need." And what I can provide them with is gifts that you can give last minute that are still thoughtful and don't look like last minute gifts, right? So I'm really good at, now I have an arsenal of those type of gifts, and I'm able to explain how, you can go from idea to making it happen pretty quickly.
And I love that. Yeah. I now that I don't now that my personal assistant is different and it's not my sister. My sister was my personal assistant for almost 7 years, and she was like, "Yeah, our aunt's birthday is tomorrow. I already bought it. I already sent it." I'm like, "Oh my God, I love you." Now I don't. Now I'm on my own. It's terrible. But yeah, cool. Well, as we're kind of coming up on time, was there any other questions, thoughts, or anything that we can expand on? I know we kind of threw out a bunch of different stuff, and I think that was kind of maybe the idea was just kind of brainstorm, get some stuff percolating. But um,
No, this was helpful for me to talk this through. I know where to get a hold of you if I have follow up questions. Hopefully for the folks listening, this was useful. If they take anything away from this, I think it should be, if you're going to build a newsletter, try to monetize in the right way early, right? So don't end up like me where you have thousands of subscribers and you haven't figured out how to monetize yet, unless you can get those subscribers in a couple days. There's folks out there who can do that. More power to them. But if you're like me and you think it's reasonable to have, several thousand subscribers after X amount of time doing this, I think you should have taken a step back at the very beginning and figured out how you're going to monetize and start testing monetization strategies a lot earlier than I did.
yeah, I think you're gonna get there.
I think so too. It's entrepreneurship. You just have to continue to poke, and that's what I'm going to continue to do, and I'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah, cool, man. Yeah, well, we can chat offline. But yeah, thank you for your time today. Thanks for coming on, sharing it. If somebody is a medium to low caliber gift giver, or just someone who wants some inspiration on how they can enhance their gift giving, where can they find the newsletter?
bettergiftcoach.com. Please subscribe. It's free, it's weekly, it's a 2-minute read every week.
Beautiful. We'll link it up in the show notes as well.
Thanks.
All right,
Thanks for
brother.
having me, Mike.